Crosby. Gensel on the right. He scores! Jake Gensel!
Hundley holds, steps up. Hundley sacks T.J. Watt. NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep. And he did it again. Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates. 3 home runs in a game.
I like to see myself. Look at that logo.
Look how good his hair looks.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio in the Municipal Building. Thank you for watching us on Comcast, No More 721. So Smokin' Jim's doing a show for Steel City Sports World. They're on Comcast 21 out of Pittsburgh. So they don't see us, but we can see us in Bethel Park only on 21 now. 2-1. Just want to make sure, because Smokin's surprised after that brain surgery he had 10 days ago. He's struggling a little bit, folks. He made it in. Somehow his Uber driver got him here. Jeez. So we're good. Thanks for watching us on Verizon Channel 32 and all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, the greater Pittsburgh area, and Allegheny County for sure. Even some other areas we've heard. But thank you for watching it there. On Facebook, we got anywhere from 6,955 likes to maybe 6,955 plus. So thank you for watching that. We appreciate it. Check out Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. I want to personally thank everybody who boosted us up 2 weeks ago at 37. We now hit 102. Yeah. Please subscribe. And if you're not watching us on TV or Comcast 21, watch us on Verizon 32, of course. But check out Pittsburgh Sportsline channel. We're live streaming right now. And thank you for watching. Chief's watching us. Chief, you're the first to give us 21 was the answer last week.
Yes.
Guns is watching. Charlene Thomas is watching. Ralph Williams is watching. Ralph said hello.
That's my man.
Doug Southard is watching. Ralph Williams said thank you for the prayers for my nephew. How's he doing, Ralph? We know he was near death and was stable, but we didn't get any updates, so let us know. All right, we got a couple promos, but before we do that, I'm going to do the two.
Oh, no, I got them ready for you.
Oh,
We'll
wow.
have them broadcast. Yep.
Late breaking news.
I took your doubt as a challenge. I took it. They're ready.
You know, it's tough when somebody tells me they can't, and I know they're a superstar at the Fan, 93.7, the Fan. And then we got Nicholas VIP, Harry Callis tells me he can't do it. I said, you can do it. Then he mentioned the name of a guy him and Smokin' Jim worked with, and he said he couldn't do it, and he couldn't do it for him. We got promos right now. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
And now this message from BPTV. All right, Dave, I'm going to run some of these tapes. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, ah. 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 Oh, my God. Whoa, no, 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 no. No, whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa! Whoa! No! 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 Whoa! Oh! Ah!
Come on, work with me here. Work with me. Come on. This party's a disaster. Come on, work with me here. Work with me. Oh, hi, Dave.
Oh, hey, Henry, how's it going?
Going good.
All right, well, keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you so much. Ah!
Hey, Dave.
What's up, sir?
Where's the viewfinder on this camera?
Oh, it's right here, Nick.
Huh. You know, you're like a wizard. Ah!
So they tell me.
South Park Theater is hosting its Party in the Park fundraiser on Saturday, April 29th from 4 o'clock until 7. There will be live music, beer, wine, hors d'oeuvres, and a slate of events scheduled for the kids. General admission is $40, 4 to 12-year-olds get in for $5, and children under 3 are free. Tickets are available at EV True Value Hardware, the Bethel Park Library, South Park Theater, or you can go online to bpcf.org. If you want more information, go online or call 412-760-9614.
Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org.
Oh, dear.
Hey, aren't those promos that Nick and I did, and even Nick announcing the Party in the Park? Check it out. That cuts down that time by about 7 or 8 minutes, according to Guns, about 20 minutes off. So I want to thank Ralph for the update on your nephew. That's good. Amy, I got to correct you on this. I hate to do it. We're friends. But the first day of spring was yesterday, and I announced it on the Loose Leaf Green Tea Weather Report, which you read and wished me good morning. So I just wanted to tell you that was why I said it was the first day of spring yesterday. And I know a couple things, so I wanted to share that with you. Tony from Chick-fil-A, Pens have no heart. No, old age and lack of good players have hurt them. They keep giving up the lead every time.
The curse.
The curse isn't, it's been gone because there wasn't one. And Smokin' Jim, Final Four teams in basketball. We're going to go to him and he can talk about it. Lynn Tawari is watching. Mike Probanik is watching. Pete Kasich, who we know, is watching. So thanks to all of you for watching us. We appreciate you tuning in and telling us you're watching. If you have a comment, as long as it's family friendly, I'll get it. And then I don't get all the posts that you make because Facebook's a little wonky. In the studio, Smokin' Jim will look that word up. It just means it's a little bit off. So we're going to go to What's on Your Mind, Smokin' Jim Brain Surgery Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
I'll do it easy.
You got to see Levine.
See, underhanded for him because he's diminished.
But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine.
What?
Enjoyed listening to the fan the other day ago with Donnie Football and the VIP of BPTV, Nick Callis.
He's moving on up.
But I just wanted to give Tony my Final Four. I like the way Pitt is playing. They're not. They're still not in Penn State.
Hold it.
West
Time.
Virginia.
Wait. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. Disclaimer.
I'm 3 days behind.
Whoa.
This is live TV.
Let me explain. Hold it, folks. This has never happened on Pittsburgh Sportsline. Smokin' Jim makes up false things about surgery and health and everything else. I was teasing about brain surgery, but I'm correct. He did get a lobotomy. He wears the hat so he doesn't show his head, but they kept the nice smile he has. So that's my disclaimer, my personal disclaimer. So carry on.
I tell you, I
Jim.
like going in. I said before the tournament started, I like UCLA. They could score. I liked Houston going in until they lost their number one player. But I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking
Yes, sir. You remember.
If they don't start playing man to man, You ain't going to beat them white boys from Princeton. They can shoot the lights out of them three-point plays.
First,
and you know if you white, you're all right with me,
first,
brother. Can they shoot or what? A hell of it. I'm like, you better play man to man. They'll shoot you out the zone.
First, we're still praying for Smoking Jim.
And I like St. John's. They got Patino.
Yeah, and how do priests hire Patino? St. John's is a Catholic school in New York. He just wanted to go back to New York. So how'd he get hired?
He looks
we're
good for
praying.
70.
Well, for what he did, we don't talk about that. For praying for Smoking Jim. This is the first disclaimer, well, maybe the second or third after his brain surgery. Whatever he says, do not represent BPTV. Definitely nobody on this panel does he represent or speak for, because we don't even understand where he's coming from on that.
But I like UCLA, and that's what's on my mind. West Coast, East Coast.
Smoking Jim, you're a very intelligent, well-spoken young man after surgery, so keep it up. Karen Fryermuth, thanks for watching. Paul Haley, one of our new fans, thanks for watching. And
isn't that a Steeler tight end, Fryermuth?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's a little shorter.
Wow, they related?
Karen's
they related?
a good friend of mine.
Are they related?
It's one of his friends.
Is she related to the tight end for the
Her
Steelers?
husband may be a distant cousin. I don't know. Ronnie don't talk.
No.
But I tell you what, her husband's as big as him.
Well, there we go. Karen, shout out to watching Guns. Guns. I'm not going to even mention his name since all his fans are watching it.
My turn. Really?
Please tell us what's on your mind. This is totally his private segment.
The road to the Steelers. It starts with Jeff Stoutland. And who's Jeff Stoutland? The baddest offensive line coach in the world.
Wow.
He's the Philadelphia Eagle offensive line coach, which is a great story because he played for 3 years varsity for South Connecticut as an inside linebacker. Wow. How he ended up so great of an offensive line coach, but the Steelers have benefited from his greatness. And how? Because they're bringing up more offensive linemen. They're so good they can't keep them all. Wow. And Omar Khan, for once, showed me by picking up Siamalu. How do you say it? Siamalu?
Yeah, something like
Siamalu, who's a Siamato, he's a beast. He's 307, 6'4", and big. What's his first name? Hurstbig, who they list him at 6'4", 350. And people that played up against him said he'll never see 350 again.
They say he'll never see it.
The Steelers have taken a C- offensive line and moved it to a B+. Because they have...
You heard it here first from the Guns.
They have picked up 2 offensive linemen who have completely doubled the power of the run.
And the blocking
and the
ability.
Inside, but this is what's interesting. And why can't they be an A? Because these are great guards in the run game. I'll bet you Najee is probably dancing like me because now he got 2 beasts in front of him.
That's all he needed, somebody to get in front of somebody and hit him.
And that's what's interesting about that is I think that that's a tell that the Steelers recognize their passing game may be taking a little longer than they hope it to be. So they brought in a run game. And I'm telling you what, this offensive line with that backfield, I'm looking forward to some smash mouth football because that's what they are, smash mouth guards.
Wow.
So that's what's on my mind. Oh, one other thing, if I may.
One more, bonus.
I don't understand why the Steelers are so cornerback oriented. Everything's about the corner to corner to corner. I know a little about playing corner, right? But here's the thing. If they would get a better rush on the quarterback, the corners would not have to be running around for a week trying to guard them.
Thank you.
That's right.
Their first draft should be a defensive end that can rush the passer, period. And then that'll give Peterson, who's probably slowed down a step, the ability to quarterback that backfield. And that's what's on my mind.
Thank you. And by the way, because of before his brain surgery, Smoking Jim was friends with Mike Tomlin, and he talks bad about him all the time. So Mike Tomlin's an egomaniac, which we all know. So he watches the show. So shout out to him. Ed Pockle, he said, hey, boys, you need to talk more baseball. Ed, we have a problem. It's called NUTTING. And we're open to any suggestion you have for talking baseball because we have Nick's a superstar on baseball, and he does it with the fans, so we can talk a little baseball.
What's that name again?
Ed, Pockl. He does
Ed
baseball.
Pockl.
Yeah, you may even know him.
I do. He used to coach me when I played for the Pittsburgh Prowlers when I was
There's-
11 and 12. There you go.
Yes, and he was interviewed on Pittsburgh Sportsline at Hollywood Lanes. We're friends, so thanks for watching. Brandon the Man Esplin is watching, and he's all about the Penguins. And Guns made a prediction that the Penguins might not make the playoffs. Tony from Chick-fil-A said they have no heart. I say they have problems with their whole crew there. And the one exception on the Penguins, in my opinion, is the superstars are all doing what they're expected to do. So 17 years and it hasn't stopped them. What are they doing? And who's this guy Hextall who hated the Penguins working for him? I believe in a little conspiracy there that he's getting even when he got beat once 5-0 and was throwing gear and everything. I remember that. Smoking Jim doesn't watch hockey, but he will watch it this Saturday when Crosby goes against Ovechkin, Penguins against the Capitals. Ooh. And Tony from Chick-fil-A goes, ask for Final Four, and he gives me the race card. Never fail from the man with the brain surgery. LOL. Joe Board, our friend from Ohio with Board Boxing, he's watching. Amy's on fire tonight. She said, Smoking Jim, I like your black outfit.
Thank you, Amy.
You look very nice. And Nick, I like your haircut. Kelly Bennett is watching. Tim Davis II, the father of Colleen Caius Davis. She's fighting this weekend, so try to see her fights. And Paul Haley said, just what a young Kenny Pickett needs also, protection. He's with you, Guns. Yes. George Malerbo, my longtime friend from the Post-Gazette and Press, is watching. Amy, again, you're giving us the update on the losing Penguins 1-0 against the Senators. Tim Davis says, welcome back, Smoking Jim.
Thanks, Coach.
George Malerbo said, good evening. Johnny Mariano, who's not supposed to be texting, said, great show, guys.
Thanks, Johnny.
Johnny's watching and running the cameras, so if the cameras don't look as efficient, you can't blame Johnny. It's not his fault. And Brandon Mann said, it would be best if the Pens did not make the playoffs. Our core is doing their job. Hextall is destroying the team he has built around them. Crosby deserves better. Thank you very much, Brandon Man. We're with you. All right, we got to go to the VIP. Also, Harry Callis, I'll put that shout out. 93.7,
Harry
the fan.
Callis, the man.
Not the great
What's
one.
on your mind?
Well, let's start with March Madness. Smokin said he was listening to some stuff that I was talking about, and I told a story and about why I don't fill out brackets because I was in 4th or 5th grade. I had Pitt going to the Final Four. I had freshman-filled Kentucky winning it all, and everybody just couldn't hesitate to tell me why my bracket was just not
Busted.
logically correct. I mean, I had Robert Morris advancing from the round of 64, too, which was just crazy for that time. But I was like, you know what? I like the names
How
of these
old
teams.
were you?
I was like, 9 or 10. So,
I'll say 9 because that was a little
and I'll tell you
immature.
what, that was the first and only time I filled out a bracket. I feel like I've told this story here before, but I'll tell it again if you don't know. Yeah, I was made fun of. Even my teacher was like, honey, I like Pitt, but Pitt can't make the Final Four. I was like, why not? I like Pitt. Pitt was the only team I knew back then because my mom was the only graduate in my immediate family at the time. So, and now my sister is why I say that. But anyway, I only knew of Pitt, and I was like, well, Pitt has a good team. And Donnie was telling me on the fan that Pitt was ranked, I think they were the first seed that year, so maybe I wasn't as crazy as they were making it out to be. But I just hated all the criticism. It's supposed to be a fun time. And then you make a poor bracket to begin with, and then your bracket actually doesn't do well, and then it's just a lose-lose. So that's why I don't fill out a bracket. And Smokin reminded me of that story talking about who got busted in the Purdue got busted in the first round. That
Yeah.
was fun too.
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna happen, and I always thought, I'd rather not fill out a bracket and not get made fun of than fill out a bracket and have to deal with that as well. But as for Pitt too, RIP to their season. I just want to take a moment to reflect though, because where were we in October, November, December? They're losing to WVU. We're calling for Capel's head, right? Very sad and grim moments. What's Pitt basketball going to be like next season? Because Capel shouldn't be here, and the players that they have aren't good enough. And who's the guy that just transferred? Hughley, right? Yeah. He was a big deal and a controversy, and now he's not anymore because he's transferring, and Pitt's got a core right now. And Capel seems to know what he's doing with the transfer portal at the least. So we making it into the tournament. We're sad that they couldn't advance against Xavier. You felt like they could have beat a team like Xavier. But if you go back to yourself in the wintertime and you ask yourself, you say, well, Pitt lost against WVU. Pitt lost a lot of these early non-conference games. What if I told you they were going to win 2 games in the tournament and knock off a few teams as an underdog seed? You'd probably take that, right? If I asked you back then, Pitt's going to win 20 games this season, you'd be like, yeah, I'll take that, right? So, recency bias is a thing, and I get that, but just reflect. Reflect in a more positive manner. This team exceeded expectations and gave us an exciting season of basketball. It was a weak ending, but then again, it could have been even worse. So they did well. They accomplished a good bit, and there seems like there's a connection among this team that can make us all anticipate another good basketball season next season. So look out for that. Appreciate it. It was a good season. That's what's on my mind.
Hey, Nick, you inspired me from getting so beat up and bullied on your brackets. I've only played one bracket in my life. Nick Brenner was on our show, and he said, Machine, you got to fill out a bracket. I go, I just like watching the games. Have my dad fill out one because he's won many times. He'd pick the underdogs. He's smiling from heaven that he would have had some of those underdogs because he watched all the games during the season.
Yeah, well,
He'd be that meticulous. And I got to go back to somebody named Jamie Dixon. Whenever they were in there, I always thought they could win because he had players that lasted 4 years, and he coached them up to play his defensive game and offensive game. We've had a guy here 5 years. This was the first time he got into the bracket.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you're hopeful. And here's the positive thing I got from it. You took all that negativity, and you have a career on my show and on The Fan, and you have a broadcast journalism degree from Waynesburg because of your failures and people beating you up. It inspired you to overcome it because you're Pittsburgh strong. We take that negativity, and you went to KO because people like Smoking Jim disrespect us all the time. But it made us stronger. See
my degree or your degree? Because I brought my degree on the show once. So
all right, we're gonna can that.
But I mean, for Capel's sake, though, I just mean it seems like he knows how to maneuver the transfer portal, and that's helping him.
Well, let me tell you what really helped him out. NIL helped him out because he got 4 good guards.
Right now, if he can,
that's what helped. But can we get any more players with it? Because the Pitt alumni didn't want to keep Jordan Addison with all the money they brag about having. So you need money to get the NIL players.
Look how well he did over at USC.
Well,
wasn't a great
there's
season.
no comment. They go for the money.
Yeah.
To me, it's about the money. Now they're getting paid.
It seems like he knows how to maneuver the portal, is all I'm saying. So NIL is helping him, and that I acknowledge.
Well, since he hasn't shown much in 5 years, I give him credit for this year, and I'm always looking forward. What about next year, Capel? So we'll see what happens.
We'll find out when it comes.
We'll find out. Paul Haley says the Penguins give you nightmares before you go to bed. That's if you can go to sleep. And then Michael Parrish is watching. Paul Haley said again, last week I commented that Josh Gibson, the Ducks goalie, actually his name is John. I knew that, Paul, and my son had corrected me when we got home that was John. They should have got him. The University of Michigan then went on in 2008 to win a gold medal at the World Junior Games as a winning goalie. Great local kid. Thanks for saying that. We're aware of him. Lynn Tawari, thoughts on OBJ and the Steelers? Guns wants to answer that.
Lynn Tueri was the best woman nose guard I ever knew when she was in high school.
Wow.
Even now, I wouldn't mess with her. She's laughing, I'm sure, if she's watching.
Len, we comment and salute you. My dad was a basketball referee, and I told a story with a friend of mine. There were grade school games with girls playing basketball in the 60s and the 70s, and my dad would referee girls' basketball games, and they said they knew the fundamentals.
I'm talking about football.
Oh, football.
Women's football.
I salute you on football. That's even better.
You'd never know it, but, man, she stood them up. She was tough.
Well, if Guns is telling you that, look at those guns.
Hey, I'm still afraid of her.
That's the best compliment you could get. What about OBJ? Smoking Jim, your scout
You're
opinion.
the scout.
Well,
Do you remember you were a scout?
Yes.
Okay.
All the talent in the world, but we got to clean up the locker room. He'd be the worst locker room cancer we ever had here.
What?
Call.
Really?
Yeah, cancer.
Oh, what do you do?
Hold it, breaking things, stop there.
That's a good call.
The toughest nose guard just said, thanks, Jimmy.
Have you ever been thanked for your opinion before?
You ain't.
It wasn't for him.
Oh, okay. They're both named Jim.
Let me explain about the Jim
We're the perfect
team.
cookie.
Yeah, let me explain the Jim.
Smoke it.
We got Jim is filling in for Chip Hayner.
You've been telling me that for 4 months, but go ahead.
Well, they found out, this is serious, he's been in pain the whole time. They finally found an infection, and he has a staph infection. He's getting operated at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. He's going to be in the hospital 3 to 5 days, almost like Smoking Jim that doubled that for that brain surgery that was pre-planned.
He's killing you, brother.
No, just telling the truth, because, look, he's not denying it. He didn't say he didn't have it, right?
Never said that. That's
So
true.
he's filling in for Chip. He's potentially off 6 weeks or more. So then, listen to this. He told me on the phone call, because he did check in with me. So pray for Chip Hayner and his wife Stephanie, because it's been a battle for both of them. But then he's getting another new knee in November again. So he won't be like Smoking Jim taking baby steps. He just wants to try to walk. So that's what's going on. And Amy says, Chip, hope you get well soon. We're not sure if he's watching tonight there, Amy, but thanks for your thoughts. All right, what's on my mind? That was an interesting first half of the show. Can't believe where all that time went. When we have that extra time, Guns, we go ranting and raving on everybody's comments.
That's what it's all about, right?
Whoa.
Audience participation.
All right, I'll get serious. What's on my mind is Smoking Jim knows this Giovanni Molinaro and his mother, and a good friend of ours, Sarah, had them on the show with Smoking Jim, and he does Special Olympics. He did the polar plunge. I wasn't able to get a camera crew to film him. Not only did he do a polar plunge for himself, he did a polar plunge for me because I donated money to him, and I did it on my Talking Machine show, so you can find out how much I donated. Smoking Jim. You missed that show. Yeah. So he called me up the other day. It was early in the morning, and he goes, Alan, I got to talk to you. And I go, you okay, Giovanni? It's in the morning. He goes, I wanted to call you before work because I raised over $9,000. He doubled from $5,000 to $9,000. He goes, thank you so much for publicizing me, your donation and everything else to get us at $9,000. So what a great young man who's on the autistic spectrum. He's doing this to help others with the Special Olympics and get the care and services that they need. So you talk about a great guy that I put on my show. Thanks to all of you that may have donated and supported him. And he went in twice with just his swimming trunks on. And before he went, he called me up and said, could you film? And I said, no, I couldn't get a crew. And he goes, hey, Al, could I ask you for a favor? I go, yeah, anything. He goes, could you get Smoking Jim to come and do the polar plunge? And I gave him a one-word answer. So here's what I said. Giovanni, if you're watching, you know it's true. I said no.
I'd take a loan out to donate for that one.
But that's what I had to put out there, for that.
Smoking, I might put forward $1,000 to watch you do a plunge. I'm not even kidding.
Could I push him in?
If you actually did that, I would donate.
We got
heavy
a
amounts of
unanimous
money.
there.
I'm right with you, but I'd like to see him on a slide.
One of the metal slides. What metal? And I got one more thing what's on my mind, because, I always have a lot of things, but I try to keep it to one thing. Most of my co-hosts give 2, 3, 4 things. So the second thing on my mind, because I'm trying to get them to do a disclaimer on me, but it's not working. But anyhow, I wake up and Shaq is in the hospital.
No. Oh no, here it comes.
I wake up and there's a picture. You can't see the picture from my phone because Johnny's busy there. He don't know on the camera that I need him. But so he's in a hospital bed. I won't show it there. He won't be able to see it, will he?
Yeah, he will.
Oh, will he?
Yeah, you want me to pull it for you?
Hold on, let me get it there for you. All right, here it is. Here it is. I got a picture that was online of Shaq, and he looked like Smoking Jim last year when he was having leg problems. He was in the hospital and said he'd be in there a week. He thought it was a vacation. So the reporting is, I'll get to the point right now, he didn't say what's wrong with him. Now he's twice the size.
Screen's kind of dark.
Nice eye, Johnny. Can he pull up there with Shaq? There it is. That's it. There's Shaq looking like Smoking Jim, twice the size of Smoking Jim. And guess what he said was wrong with him? He said nothing. And they go, he looks good. I mean, look at him. It looks like, here, show Smoking Jim so he can see that, because he didn't see that on air. Look at how he looks, Smoking. Isn't that like you? Wow. And he said,
no way Shaq is that dark.
Oh, wow.
Disclaimer, whatever he says.
Is that really Shaq?
That is Shaq.
I don't even know what to even say. Although it's been said by other sportcasters to me, they've never seen Smoking Jim and Shaq in the same room.
Whoa, that's like Batman and Bruce Wayne.
I'm starting to think that.
Well,
and Smoking Jim's photos are always from here up, so we don't really know how tall Smoking Jim really is.
Well, we're actually, for all of you that think we're picking on him, we are.
We can probably estimate his height better than his age, though, that's for sure.
Well, we don't want to get too deep on the age thing, because some of you think he's 30, some of you think he's 70.
Al, I'll only say this. The light above me was out, and I sat on Jim's shoulder. That's all I'll say. I'm sworn to secrecy after that.
That was enough. Johnny, thanks for the camera work. We appreciate that. Thanks for listening to me. I appreciate that too. And that's all I have on what's on my mind. We're going to go to Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. 10 seconds. Ryan will let Johnny know. 10 seconds.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, and I'm inspired by Donnie Football and the VIP of BPTV.
Again,
Nick
you already
Callis.
talked about them.
So, what I'm gonna do is, I have a nugget.
Surgery.
I have a nugget for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How do you spell that
in
nugget?
the second round?
How do you spell that? Okay, that's close.
But hey. I always said because the Pittsburgh Steelers is going with Pickett as their franchise quarterback, that in the first round with the 17th pick, I'd get Jordan Addison because that's what Pickett wants. He wants a receiver he feels comfortable with. My second round pick, which is the pick they got from Chicago, which is a
How about that
32nd pick.
Claypool trade?
That
worked out well. Al Levine said it only.
Long as they make the right selection, it sure didn't work out well for Claypool. But with that 32nd pick, I would take baby Gronk,
Which is
Michael
it?
Mayer from Notre Dame.
Isn't
a tight
Kronk
end.
from the gyms?
Pardon me?
Isn't Kronk about the gym?
Well, Kronk's from Buffalo that they recruited.
I knew you could
Woodland
help us.
Hills illegally recruited here his senior year and got away with it.
Okay.
But in the second round, if they can do it, I got a player that's a combination of a middle linebacker that's a combination of Jack Lambert, T.J. Watt with a little flavor of John Lynch. So you got three.
What a combination.
You got three
Lynch
Hall of
was
Famers.
a beast.
He got a black name, Drew Sanders, but he's white.
Disclaimer. Disclaimer. These comments do not represent BPTV.
If I tell you Drew Sanders, wouldn't you think he was black?
No.
You think he was laying in the bed next to Shaq?
No, I wouldn't.
Your son's name Drew.
Yeah, hold it. He's being disrespectful.
Sanders.
My son's Drew Levine. And as far as I know,
All black people that are named Drew, they call themselves Dre, like Dr. Dre. He's Drew.
I ain't going near this.
But listen, I got a middle linebacker.
All right, who is it?
240 pounds. He's never run the 40 officially, but my eye test, which is better than any clock, I got him running about a 4.5. I got him photo finish in the 40 against Jordan Addison. He's a super
we
athlete.
got to disclaim that. You cannot ever make a comment according to my eye on Pittsburgh Sportsline. You had cataract surgery and you couldn't see. You were hitting other cars and having accidents. And then he didn't even know they put a plastic lens in, so now he can see things before they happen. So according to his eye, no way.
Now, what did I say on draft day when the Steelers drafted T.J. Watt? I said they just drafted the greatest linebacker in Steeler history. Now I'm saying he's the greatest player in Steeler history. And if they draft Drew Sanders in the second round, it'll be the biggest steal since they got Jack Lambert in the second round. And I tell you what, this guy will bring life to the defense along with T.J. Watt enthusiasm. He can run, he can hit, he's very athletic. And then you know me, if you're white, you're all right. Second round, great pick, Drew Sanders from Arkansas. He's a Razorback. And that's what's on my mind. You heard it here from the scout.
Friends out here, you cannot trust the judgments and the comments he made. The disclaimers, again, he represents clearly himself after his brain surgery, so he's still a little sketchy, and the disclaimer still holds true. He doesn't represent BPTV or any of us on Pittsburgh Sportsline, even Johnny, even Ryan
What, you
in
want
the
him to
control
go get
room.
Joey Porter Jr.?
No, Peasy
So they can smoke cigars under the stadium?
Peasy's son can stay at North Catholic where they did well there. Oh, no, they got thrown out of there. What the heck happened? All right, but disclaim that again. His final comments were terrible. George Gallus, thank you for watching. Tony from Chick-fil-A is on fire tonight. Nick should do baseball trivia while Chip is out. No, we got a segment.
I did it with him here once, maybe.
We got to go to Guns right now in his segment. Show me your guns.
All right. I think somebody needs to address the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay.
Sometimes in the OR, you got to declare the patient dead.
Talk to the guy that just came out.
The Penguins.
He's just been out.
Well, he didn't die, though. He's here. Clear as day.
Okay. But is that truly
Maybe
alive?
he did, and this is a
All right,
clone.
let Guns talk.
We want the Penguins so bad to be good, but they're just not the team they were in 2016.
Yeah.
And who do I blame? I blame Mike Sullivan, and I'm going to tell you why. The core are playing well, but Sullivan is asking these players to do things that they are not physically capable of doing anymore. They're not that fast anymore. And the Penguins are going to have to decide, are they going to really try to regroup and take a couple years of not being that good? Or are they going to continue this farce with the city saying, we made the playoffs and got blown out. We made the playoffs and got blown out. So I officially say, especially if you're listening, Steve, you're DOA.
Whoa, and that's to our substitute co-host, Steve Wirt, if he's watching. And the other point I wanted to make is, remember, coaches in the NHL have a lifespan of 4.3 years.
Mm-hmm.
They up Sullivan's contract after 4.3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't change your style, it even happened with Chuck Noll. It even happened with legendary Bill Cowher.
No, watch your mouth.
So it's too late, Smoking Jim.
March Madness. 3 of my Final Four that I gave last week are still there.
Tell them again.
Alabama,
Yeah.
Houston,
Yeah.
UCLA, and Marquette. And I'm very disappointed in Marquette because Shaka Smart got out-coached by Tom Izzo. He intimidated him and beat them. Marquette should have won that game on the comeback, but I could tell that Marquette was rattled. And Izzo,
And so was the coach.
hey, Izzo broke his clipboard, and that was the end of Marquette. Now, as far as Pitt,
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether Capel is a good coach, but he's a darn good portal guy. He should be on Star Trek the way he brings them players from nowhere.
Beam me up, Scotty.
So if he
Beam
beams
me
up
up.
some guys next year, he'll be all right. But if you want to talk about a real coach, St. John's got it going on. When they asked the bishop in New York about all the stuff that Patel did, can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. The bishop said, pick whoever you want and let God sort them out.
Well, I bring this up again, that how can all the priests and bishops okay a guy who got thrown out of basketball because of what he did? Like, I have no tolerance for the behavior that he had. He may be one of the greatest coaches in basketball, but when you're morally corrupt.
It's the Catholic Church of New York. Forgiveness is divine.
On that happy note, your nose guard, Lynn Tawari, we need some young blood on the Pens. You're backing up Jimmy there. The other Jimmy, not the smoking Jimmy.
We're a team. We're the ultimate cookie.
Marco Rodi he's watching. Marco, we hope you get better. Prayers to Marco, one of our best new volunteers.
That's my man.
So we appreciate you. All right, we got to go to VIP time.
Trivia in this opinion segment, but talk about baseball, the World Baseball Classic, because a big event happened a few days ago that hurts the New York Mets and made everybody get mad at the World Baseball Classic. Edwin Diaz, closing pitcher for the New York Mets. Puerto Rico won a game, and they start celebrating, and there's a big group, and they're all jumping, and then all of a sudden Diaz is on the ground, and everybody's like, what happened? And, well, it turned out that he pulled one of those sensitive muscles that you don't come back from in a season. So
You mean ACL?
I don't know if it was some weird thing. It wasn't. I don't think it was an ACL. I forget though. It could have been. So you might be right. But it's one of those things like an ACL, an MCL, just those kind of muscles that get hurt and you don't come back. So, do we hate the World Baseball Classic? Well, I want to know what you think. So go ahead and comment and let me know. I'm fine with the World Baseball Classic. I don't think Diaz got hurt because of the World Baseball Classic necessarily. What I noticed from him was that he kind of did one of those cool man walks, like, no, nothing happened. Nothing happened. No, this is every day. While his team's jumping on him. And if you lock your legs and you lock your knee and people are trying to make you jump but you don't jump, you're going to pull something. And I think that's what happened. So maybe instead of the cool man strut, if he just let his knees kind of bounce a little bit and he celebrated with the team, he'd be fine. That's my opinion based on what I saw. I'm not a doctor, so don't take what I say
So you
total.
say it's other people that are responsible for his injury.
I'm not smoking.
In my interpretation.
Well, no, I'm just saying I'm not smoking Joe. I'm not going to sit here and tell you exactly what happened. But from my experience on camera, right, I just want to let you know I'm not a doctor. But from what I saw, that's what it looked like. In terms of the ratings for the World Baseball Classic, it's good to see that the entire world can appreciate baseball because apparently America can't. But I saw that the highest-rated World Series was in 1980, and the semifinal games in the World Baseball Classic were getting up toward like 20 million more than even the highest-rated World Series, so that's interesting. It seems that the world can appreciate baseball, and the fact that Japan and the USA are in a rematch of the 2020 Olympics.
Breaking news from Marco.
Okay.
U.S. up 1 on a home run by Trey Turner over Japan.
Love Trey Turner. Good for him. Deserves every bit of that 300-plus million.
Marco's feeling better, and he'll be back next week. Thanks for the update, Marco.
Yes, thank you. But, yeah, so...
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good. But, yeah, so highly anticipated event. USA-Japan playing in baseball. Rematch of the 2020 Olympics, although there's more major leaguers playing, and there's, Shohei Ohtani's pitching for Japan, it seems. So, exciting matchup. Sad I'm not watching right now, even though I'm here, so I'll be catching that after this show's over. But
how does that work?
What do you mean? How does that work?
You're not watching now while you're
here. Well, because I'm talking to you. So, yeah.
Just wanted verification.
Don't hate on the World Baseball Classic though, because an oddity happened. A lot of people that I heard were calling us at the Fan and talking about.
I just don't think they should play it in spring training. Because not everybody's in the proper shape.
Would you rather ruin the rhythm of midseason then?
Yes.
Really?
Because I like all-star games.
Really, yeah.
I never watch them anymore in all the sports because it's a farce.
I think the World Baseball Classic's good in the spring, though, because you're still, getting repetitions as a player. I mean, there's more of a risk to get hurt, and you pick the anomaly in the situation to...
what?
The anomaly, the 1 in a million. You got it. The 1 in a million chance, right? The thing you're scared of.
It's a rare occurrence.
And then it happens one time among
it's like truancy.
Many trials, and then it actually happens. So it's an anomaly. It doesn't happen very often. Edwin Diaz easily could have prevented his injury either by his team not being rabid or if he would have just jumped a little bit, he'd have been fine. So I don't think that instant should make you hate the World Baseball Classic. I like it in spring training because it's not attached to the season, so I don't have to worry about the rhythm of any teams that I support getting disrupted. You play before the season. It's like an enhanced spring training. It's like a more important spring training. The games mean something to the people all across the countries, and it's interesting to see each person's nationality represented on a baseball team. So I like where it is. I'm not without. I like where it is. I think injuries are preventable.
Well, hold it. One more injury report by me and Chief.
Okay.
I saw this one because, unlike you, I do watch the World Baseball Classic, and I appreciate it, but not the timing of it, because every spring training, my whole life, they told me pitchers develop slower than the hitters. Mm-hmm. So why are we playing when there's a disadvantage for pitchers? You don't have to answer that. That's sort of rhetorical.
Well, I could answer.
Altuve got hit in the hand and has a broken hand.
Who did?
Altuve.
Oh, Altuve.
With Houston.
Was that karma for the 2017 World Series? Probably not. No, we don't want people
to get hurt.
No, we don't want people to get hurt.
Other things happen. All right. Then explain to me so I understand. Pitchers are behind in spring training. World Baseball Classic is good for pitchers and hitters. Why did the U.S. have 14 runs the other game if pitching is on par with batters? Just asking as an average fan.
Well, that was, again, another anomaly.
Everything cannot be an anomaly.
Sure it can. How many lopsided games are in the World Baseball Classic?
I'll just have to share with you, my young co-host. I can't agree with you on this issue.
That's fine. You didn't have to. This is my segment.
No, but your voice started to get louder and piercing, so I didn't want to offend you. I still like you. And
If you guys,
if you think we're fighting, this is our way of fighting. I disagree 100% with what he's trying to convince you of.
that's okay, but just
Pitchers are behind every spring train.
I have a hard time believing, though, that the pitchers participating in this wouldn't start sooner if they knew what they were doing. If any pitcher is smart like you, all right, you're a smart guy. If pitchers are smart like
Others
you,
have told
you
me
see what I'm
that.
saying?
I don't
Right,
want to
you see-
brag,
you see what I'm saying?
but when I started out early,
You see what I'm
I don't want to brag, but when I started out early in the season, we weren't allowed to play if the temperature was under 50. So it took us a while because unlike Smoking Jim, who doesn't fear hot or cold, and he's dressed like it's winter today, second day of spring, but that just came out of me.
They are playing
But
them-
we started slower when we started pitching because pitching is about repetition and practice.
Right, and they are playing.
Hitting
They are
comes
playing
more-
in Miami, right? You know.
Well, I don't care
So-
about the warm weather. I care about how much pitching is advancing as each week and day goes by.
So you're saying baseball evolves? Another subtle point right
Brilliant.
there. Love to hear it. I just don't.
He just backed my case for a summer World Baseball Classic during the All-Star.
Okay, the
I
final-
second your emotion.
Final thought. I just don't think the pitchers would participate in the World Baseball Classic without doing their own preparation to make it there. Because they should know what they're getting into. And if pitchers start slow on a general basis, any pitcher that knows that they're going to start out slower should prepare accordingly. That's the opinion, among the other opinions you heard about the World Baseball Classic. All right, your turn.
Oh, I'll do my segment, but before that, there's a lot of pride when you live in a certain country. Like, look at all the Venezuelans, look at the Mexicans, and look at all that want to play for their national team. Here, we've politicized our teams and everything else, so we don't know who's actually going to be in there. But when you get superstar pitchers that aren't ready in spring training, I'll reiterate the point again, how is it going to change when they're in warmer weather for a week and then they're playing baseball? But I'll rest my case with that. We disagree. Anthony Bacco's watching. Thank you. Yeah, Chief, thanks for your point there. All right, we'll go to my last segment. We're running out of time, so run the segment, and I'll close us out of this thing. I just love that graphic. All right, on location, we're winding down. We got a special talking machine show at the Lamont. For all you ladies, there's a group, a Celebrate and Share nonprofit. They're honoring Jessica Lee and another lady there. It's a woman's group, Smoking Jim. You'd fit in perfectly. They all come out there, and Nick and I are going to be filming that, and we're honored. And Joanne Forrester's in charge of that, and it's Bonnie DiCarlo. So we're filming that for them. So that'll be ending out the month, what we do. We have a show coming up April 1st at Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. And Smoking Jim's invited. He's been avoiding Grandmaster Zhang the last couple years. Somehow he's either, well, we won't mention hospital or ill or car accidents, but he's missed some shows. He's welcome to be there with us. They're the only school in America that has a Taekwondo class on their curriculum. They're dyslexic and have other learning disabilities. You would never know it according to what the awards that Nick and I have won doing that show. So we're honored to do that April 1st. On the 22nd of April, Monsville Prison with Jim Frio and Mike Murray. And Mike Murray celebrated 42 years ago. They started the first MMA 14 years before Dana White in Pittsburgh. Nice. So imagine we had MMA before anybody in the country. And we're closing down. Johnny's shaking at me, but Smoking Jim, how do I do when we close out?
On the money.
Please stay Joey strong.